Okay, welcome back. Of course, from that very short breather there, we were talking about the security situation in the country, and of course, we are going to be setting our spotlights to Katsina State, where so much has been happening. Of course, we know that the northern part of Nigeria seems to be the hotbed when it comes to security issues right now in the country. So many things has been happening, from one terrorist attack to the other, from bandits invading farmlands and killing farmers to one thing or the other. So this morning we'll be having a security specialist join us in the studios this morning. He's going to be talking to us from Katsina State. And let me just give you a brief profile of him. His name is Dr. Yahuza Getso. He is a security, intelligence, and investigation expert, community-driven development professional, consultant on forest criminal and criminality networking, behavior, terrorist activities, and network therapist for Africa and Asian continent, with procurement, logistics, and supply chain management, 6 years career background, and also security investigation and intelligence management, especially forest and terrorist network therapy. So we'll have Dr. Yahuza get to join us right now. Good morning, sir, if you can hear us. Okay, so we just want to start the conversation from how is Katsina this morning? Hello? Okay, how is Katsina this morning? How is Katsina this morning? How is Katsina State?
Katsina is in with you from the Daura, the hometown of
Okay.
simply because there was an incident that happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The attack on the convoy of the advanced team convoy of the president, covered by the protocol, that involved the protocol, the ESS, the other military personnel, as well as the members of the press who were in advance of being the hometown of Muhammad Buhari, as he will be arriving probably preparation for Salah Eid al-Kabir,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Salah that we used to slaughter rams and all the things of that of worships. So actually the port of Katsina is really tough, and then at the same time, Bandit also ambushed Assistant Commissioner of Police and his team, who has been on top of the almost on top of the affairs of the bandits for quite a long time. He has been harboring against them, and he has been succeeding for quite almost 5 to 6 years.
Oh.
And he has killed many of the commanders. He's really very hardworking. It is a great loss for Nigeria, not only Katsina State Police Command or Nigerian Police Force, because he is one of the most dedicated, committed, and passionate police officer I ever know in the history of fighting banditry, kidnapping, among other things in the northern Nigeria in the couple of years. I have interacted with him as I interacted with almost all the police commissioner and almost all the ACs and AIGs within the region, but I think he is the most dedicated and the most passionate and hardworking officer who is always working with his team to follow the team to go to the field, not only sending the team. So he was ambushed yesterday, I killed by bandits.
Oh my God, that's really pathetic. But we just wish that his soul rest in peace. We're really empathic right now about what is happening in Katsina State. But let's still talk about the issue of the attack on the convoy of the president. Were there any casualties recorded or something?
Well, from the report we had, as released and signed by the media specialist to the president or media aide, that is Malam Garba Shehu, is the fact that they said, according to them, that two people lost their life.
Oh my God.
But the question is, we want to see the cops. We want to see the incidents because, as I know, I have been witnessing and I have been seeing the convoy of advanced team of the president, the same team that used to come to Daura in advance of Salah or any other activity of the president. But there used to be like a team a team of Russia, one facing Ukraine, just to cite a simple example.
Mm-hmm.
But fortunately and unfortunately, I have so many questions to this incident.
Mm-hmm.
One of the questions I have is the route the team used yesterday. It has no relationship with Dora. It has no linkage with Dora, and it's very hostile environment. So, to my surprise, what even take them there? Because it is like somebody going to Enugu from Abuja to say, let me go to Kaduna, then I take Benungori, then I go through Oyo State, Ibadan, and so on. So I don't really understand the reason behind using that route. That is question number one. Question number two,
Okay, so let's just talk about this question number
how
one.
could the bandits, a team of bandits, have courage and confidence to face those huge military and police mobile and kind of gun cars? They have so many, when they are moving, it's as if, like I said, it's as if when Russia was facing Ukraine. You remember the type of arms that were used and how we see them on the television and so on and so forth. So used to be a kind of like they are going for a war. So I wonder how bandits ambush them and why they use that route. Number three, there must be, I challenge the government, I challenge the security agencies, I challenge the intelligence of Nigeria in the military, in the DSS, in the police, and all the security personnel that were involved, that they must conduct a thorough investigation. There must be an internal informer who have been feeding the criminal about the movement of the convoy. And that area, even though around the Turare in the Dusama area where the team was said to have been attacked, of course, it's a very notorious and dangerous belt linking of Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, and Zamfara, because it's a short forest, but it has a very dangerous linking element, and it has also a belt that link up to Niger Republic. So of course, it's a dangerous flashpoint. So how comes that the team were ambushed at that place? And how comes, what made the team to decide to follow that very, very wrong route? Because the route is like, like I said, when somebody going to Enugu in Abuja, and when you come to Zuba, you start your way all the way to Kaduna, then you say, want to go to Oro, and then you take your way to Enugu. So
Okay,
I don't see any rationale behind the team going through that route.
Okay, sir.
Something is wrong somewhere.
So if I get you, if to ask a question with regards to your first, question, the first question you threw, will it be also possible that would say, is there a possibility that the president's convoy was not a target, but since they possibly drove themselves into that, hotbed, as it were, the bandits just happened to unleash on them? Would that also be a possibility that you would consider?
Yes, of course. Actually, I have a underlined, bold, and italic question.
Okay.
Why the convoy used that route? Thorough investigation need to be made, and there are a lot of assertions.
Yeah.
And then there is need to quickly collect all the phone numbers of all the members of the team, especially the intelligence, especially the security in the team. Because why do they even use that route? And how comes the bandits successfully had a preparation to face that kind of armed team? because they used to move with sophisticated and dangerous arms and moving like a battalion of a military and moving like a unit of a DSS and moving like a unit of a mobile police whenever president is coming to Dora and whenever such a convoy is moving in advance.
Because that's the question I was going to ask next. The convoy of the president, did they release any kind of defense against the attack, or was it just the bandits releasing fire on them and there was no return fire from the convoy of the president, sir?
Well, from the information we have assigned by Garba Shehu, the media aide or media specialist to the president, is the fact that the team were able to repel the attack.
Okay.
But the question is, if you repel the attack, who do you arrest? Was there any arrest made? And if there is any arrest, who were arrested? And what were the findings? And why there is no casualty in the side of the bandits? Only 2 people were said to have died, to have lost their life on the side of the convoy of the president. And at the same time, many were injured. We need to know exactly the number that were injured. And we need to know the number that also were arrested among the bandits. And it is sad and disheartening and disappointing and discouraging. And a national slap and an international shameful act on the side of Nigerian security architecture to say that they were unable to make a single arrest.
Okay, Dr. Yahuza, let me take us back now. I remember that there was a time that the governor of Katsina State, Nasir El-Rufai, said something that the government actually knows who these terrorists are, and especially when the issue of ransom comes, because there's this phone conversation of back and forth on negotiations and all of that. So you won't say that these communications gadgets are not being monitored, and now Governor El-Rufai said that they actually know, the government actually knows who these terrorists are. And I also remember that there was a time that Sheikh Gumi also had more like a physical contact with these people. Now, what do you think about the body language of the government? Do they actually lack the willpower to clamp down on this terrorist? Because going by what you have said, we've not seen any form of arrests. We've not seen names of casualties or anything.
Well, actually, it is true that the locations of the bandits are known, and these bandits are Nigerians, and not only Nigerians, they are also citizens and indigents of the local governments. In most cases, in the local governments where they are attacking, and like said by Nasir El-Rufai and many others, even the Minister of Information have said it time without number that they know who are the financiers, they know who are the sponsors of all these criminal activities all over the country. In the case of Boko Haram, in the case of ESN, in the case of bandits, in the case of ISWAP, in the case of Ansaru, in the case of all other criminals. So, like I keep arguing because I know the forest very well. I have an excellent knowledge of all the locations of all the bandits, and like I said, all the ward heads, all the traditional leaders, all the district heads, all the emirs, and all the members of the state assembly and the local government council chairman, the councillors. There is nobody in northern Nigeria that didn't know the location of the bandits. They are known, their locations are known, their hideout, and we don't even have a thick, terrible forest that these guys cannot be cordoned and be dealt with. But to our surprise, government always, whenever there is an attack, the President Muhammadu Buhari next response will say that I will ensure. Ensure what and when? We are tired. Nigerians are tired of I will ensure. What we need is to see the practical demonstration of dealing with these guys. National Security Advisor at one time in a statement credited to him through a BBC House made mention that huge amount of money had been allocated to purchase of hardware and software and capacity building for security personnel, but yet he don't know where this money is, and he didn't see the hardware, neither the training, neither the capacity building. And up till now, we have not seen any advanced investigation being made against any of the security agencies. in order to find a lasting solution to why they always wait for these coward criminals to launch their attack before they tell the Nigerians that we have repelled. So
Okay.
why repelled? Why can't you go to where they are? Since we know where they are, we know who they are. You know where they are, you know who they are. Does that mean that we have unserious government? Does the government exhibiting its inability? Is the government exhibiting its weaknesses? Is the government exposing itself that it cannot deliver? We have been asking the President Muhammad Buhari to resign if you cannot deliver.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question, because I remember that sometime last year, you know, there was this outcry by Nigerians to make sure that the president prescribed bandits at the time as terrorists. And of course, we know that when once these people are prescribed terrorists, there's a different approach to these things. But I don't think that it seems to be different since he decided, I mean, the president now decided, you know, to prescribe bandits as terrorists.
Well, you know, yes, of course, they have been identified and described as a terrorist. And we have had so many clamors and so many kind of mobilization by the government that it has imported one aeroplane called a Tucano, and that Tucano will locate all the location of the bandits and deal with them accordingly. But what I'm saying, and what we in the northern region are saying, especially we the experts, is the fact that these bandits are known. One, this bandits location is known. This bandits movement is known. And there is no single fueling station in any of the northern forests where Boko Haram is operating, ISOP is operating, bandits or headsmen or whosoever, whatever name you give them, as you call them criminal. There is no location where they are operating where you have a diesel station. You don't have a fueling station where they are refueling their motorcycles and so on and so forth. Even at a time when more than 98% of the fueling stations in northern Nigeria are off of the have no fuel. If you need a fuel, it takes you 35 days on a queue before you get it. But still, these guys were launching their attacks using 200 motorbikes, 100 motorbikes, 150 motorbikes, in some instances 300 and above motorbikes, and they ride in a triple number, sometimes in quadruple number on each of the motorbike, and each of them carrying at least minimum of 6 AK-47, 3 on the left shoulder, 3 on the right shoulder, 1 on the right hand, and 1 on the left hand. And they move, they ride their motorcycle and travel to a minimum nothing less than 60 kilometers, 35 kilometers, 100 kilometers to go and conduct their activity, kill people, slaughter women, slaughter old people, slaughter men, and rape women, and ask a father to rape his wife, to rape his daughter, and also they rape daughter in presence of her father, and they slaughter a pregnant mother and bring the baby from her womb and slaughter him in the presence of the husband and so on and so
Dr.
forth.
Yahuza,
But yes,
I think you're really
to
painting
deal
a
with this
very gory
decisively.
situation. You're painting a very gory situation of what is happening in the northern part of Nigeria, and we really feel bad about what is happening. But let's leave that description for now, please. But I really want to find out, you know, with what you have described so far, I begin to wonder what seems to be the problem. Is there some form of agitation from these bandits or something? Is that something they are demanding for government to do for them, or they are just having a field day and there are people sponsoring them?
Yes, of course, indeed. What we expect government to do is the fact that we have been saying that Nigeria lacks the capacity to face the security challenges we have. If you put all together the security personnel we have in Nigeria, cannot be able to face the challenges bedeviling, security challenges bedeviling the north central, northeast, and northwest. So forget about the south, southwest, and southeast. The whole security personnel we have are not adequate to face the challenges in North Central, Northeast, and Northwest. So
Okay,
if
sir,
we
let
have
me just throw in this
issue of
question.
inadequacy of the personnel, we advise the government. The strategy we use for leadership recruitment is usually the polling units, the political wards, the local governments, the state constituency, the federal constituency, and the senatorial constituency. So if the government is serious, we advocated and we suggested and we professionally advised that if they can engage the youth between the age of 17 to 25 at all the respective polling units, at least minimum of 60. So if you have 10 polling units in a political ward, you are going to have 600 youth engaged. And if you have 10 political wards in a given local government, out of 773 local governments that we have in Nigeria, you will be able to have 6,000 youth engaged per local government. So let's pilot this at least in a 500 out of 773 local governments that we have in Nigeria. If you can engage the 6,000 per local government times 500, distribute them to among the Navy, the Air Force, the Army, the DSS, the NIA, the police, the mobile police, the civil defense, the immigration, all other law enforcement agencies, and build their capacity, train them, and extend more additional outposts and have more additional kind of mixed up team of custom, immigration, police, and so on and so forth. And at the same time, encourage the local government area councils to also engage, and even the state governments to engage other youth and build their capacity to be used as intelligence source.
But
Doctor,
this same
we
youth
can
you're
deal
saying,
with this situation squarely in less than 6 months.
yeah, this same youth you're saying that government should recruit into the military and use them effectively. The same youths are the people that are being that are being used as bandits and unknown gunmen and terrorists in the country.
Well, even if that is the case, why have we been promoting military officers from the rank of major to the rank of captain, or from the rank of captain, from the rank of CP to the rank of ACP to the rank of CP, or to the rank of DCP? Why have we been promoting? What major have we used in promoting the DSS? Why can't we hold them accountable for situations and circumstances of the states and locations where they have held? If you became a commissioner of police for 5 years in a given state, why do you have to be promoted to the position of AIG while thousands and hundreds of people have been killed under your watch? Why do we have to promote a brigade of guard who may be a lieutenant colonel to the position of colonel, while he has been using a brigade or a battalion that have not been able to manage the security situation squarely? Why can't you align the promotion to the performance?
Okay, now so something I'd like to ask, because you're speaking about capacity with regards to the forces in Nigeria, and I know that you have enumerated effectively why how the system of enrolling people into the force is one of the problems. But when we speak of capacity, I'm looking at trainings and retrainings of the people that are being sent into the field to handle some of these situations for us. And again, looking at ammunitions, we know that year in, year out, billions of Nigerian naira is voted out for security in Nigeria. How come we are still saying we do not have the capacity to take care of the situation, the security challenges in Nigeria?
Sorry, came again for the last segment of the question.
Okay, I'm saying that we know that every year some amount of money is voted for, to handle the security challenges in Nigeria. How come we still have, the question of the lack of capacity on the end of our forces to take care of these things, if we have billions of naira being voted out yearly to take care of these issues?
It's because of the induced corruption. It's because of institutional corruption. It's because of the judicial corruption. It's because of the inability of the government to deal with those who were found wanting so that it serves as a deterrence for others to be not to be part of it, is because of the inability of the government to check the profile, the financial profile capacity of the security personnel. Is because of the inability of the government to deal with the situation of those who were found issues like what the late General Attahir, the former chief of army staff that lost his life to aeroplane crash. You know, when he was invited by the Senate Committee on Military, when he submitted the report, they started asking him questions. And he responded, and I quote, "You know who you give the money to. They are in my office, you know them, call them, let them tell you how they spend the money." So a huge amount of money have been invested, and yet there is no result. Since independence, there has never been a government that ever imputed huge amount of resources in terms of recruitment, in terms of procurement, in terms of capacity building, in terms of claiming to have purchased dedicated, sophisticated ammunitions, and yet, rather than getting squared, we are getting unsquared by day.
Okay, Dr. Yahuza, let me ask this question. A lot of people are saying that, look, with the situation of security that we have in the country, we should begin to seek for foreign assistance. But we know very well that the level of small arm proliferations in the country is very high. So with all the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, do you still think that, you know, Nigeria needs international or foreign aid to help us with our security business?
It is only an irresponsible person, either professional or expert like me, that will accept bringing a foreign support or requesting a foreign personnel to come to Nigeria. Because when they came, what they will prioritize is identifying key areas of their own interests. And at the same time, that will expose the Nigeria's intelligence. And also that will make Nigeria to serve as a room or as a kind of base where all arm manufacturing companies will base its interests using those who might be engaged from the foreign scene. And it will kind of discourage even our personnel. It will demoralize them because the foreigners will come and take over.
But
So
the Tucano jets you talked about earlier, the Tucano jets you talked about earlier was like a foreign aid from the United States.
Even the foreign aid from the United States, I cannot recommend it. United States have their own problem. Let's go and solve their own problem there. If they want to support Nigeria, they should support Nigeria by capacity building, training and retraining, provision of modern hardware and softwares that even the drones and other technology.
So
but
is
not
is that something that the Nigerian
Americans
forces
to come to Nigeria and because when they came to Nigeria, they'll protect their own interests, not Nigeria's interests.
Exactly.
They'll protect their own theory of diplomacy, not relationship diplomacy.
Okay, Dr. Yahuza, you're talking about the United States and other foreign communities offering capacity building as part of what they can do for us. I'm even asking, is that something that the Nigerian security force is open to receiving from these international communities?
Sorry, the line break.
Okay, I'm asking, the Nigerian security force, are we open if this international communities want to come in and build our capacity, human capacity, to be able to fight against the insecurity system? I'm asking, is Nigeria security force open to accepting this aid?
Well, I want to tell you the fact that Nigerians, we have a very gallant, serious, patriotic, responsible personnel. Even though our recruitment procedure for all the security agencies have been a kind of maze in the last 37 years, because I can tell you, I can dare tell you that more than 70 to 80% of those who are recruited into the security services, in all the services, I said it bold and italic. I want to tell you that more than even the percentage I said, were recruited based on the fact that their godfathers want them to be in the service. Not that because they were initiated and interested to join the service. This is one of the key challenges that the security institutions and Nigerian security operatives and Nigerian security architecture is facing. So in a nutshell, if at all we can build the capacity of available personnel we have and induce the number by engaging more in thousands of number of security personnel among the unemployed youth in all from all respective polling units, political wards, local government councils, state assembly constituencies, federal constituencies, and senatorial constituencies. I want to tell you that we still have Nigerians who have passion, who are patriotic, who are not after the money, who are not after the immunity of being in the military, in the DSS. No.
Okay,
what they want is to have the opportunity to support and provide whatever they can in order to ensure that Nigeria is free and safe environment.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask a question. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we had Governor Matawale of Zamfara State come out to say that it is high time that Nigerians began to, bear arms and take responsibility for their own security in the country, especially, in the north, the northeast, as it were. What will your word be with regards to the situation and the recommendation of Governor Matawale?
That is just a brutal psychology and mental imbalance. It's just a brutality of psychology and mental imbalance. No government, even though it's an exhibition that the state government have lost confidence on the federal security architecture available and operating in the states, and the governor might have considered the huge amount of money that he has been siphoning and also been sharing with the security operatives in the states. But I want to tell you, let me tell you, the common man, the masses in Zamfara State, whom he is advocating to obtain or possess arms, that is a minimum of AK-47, which is being sold at the rate of 750, 800, 850, 950 to 1 million and above. The masses that he is advocating to buy used to wake up with 200 naira, with a family of 2 wives and 7 kids. And when the head of the family woke up with 200 naira, will give 30 naira for one of the kids to go and buy pub. And it is that pub that they will share between himself and the children as well as the 2 wives. And he will drop the 170 with maybe a measure of maize, a measure of millet, a measure of corn, and some few that have affordability, a measure of rice. And give her 170 for her to know how to take care of firewood, Maggie cube, oil, water, and other things with that 170. Is this the type of poor man that you are asking to be in possession of an AK-47 that is being sold at the rate of 750 and above? That is one. Secondly, if you encourage this, all the armed traders, illegal armed traders across parts of the world will migrate to Zamfara State, and by extension, they will use the neighborhood local governments of other states, and that will improve the armed proliferation. And 3, for a simple conflict of marital conflict, a wife will pick a gun to kill her husband. A husband can easily kill a gun and kill his wife. A neighbor can easily pick a gun to kill his neighbor. For an ordinary conflict in the market, everybody will bring out AK-47 and thousands and hundreds of lives will be lost on daily basis. And can you tell me that the government that cannot track distribution of paracetamol, cough syrup, that government can be able to control arms in its states? This is the governor that cannot afford to provide potable water for the citizens. This is a governor that cannot afford to provide adequate health facilities. This is a governor that cannot provide 30% of the required essential needs for the citizens from 14 local governments.
These are really serious questions, Doctor. And
so how do you expect him to be responsible? I consider that as a psychological brutality and mental imbalance of our leaders. No madness, no madness, no mental imbalance can accept encouraging and asking people to possess guns. Now that you cannot even, I want to tell you, I have at least 80 communities that I know in Zamfara State. That from those communities, less than 1.5 kilometer to 2 kilometer, you will have bandits carrying AK-47, and they are living normal life like other people in the other end who are not bandits.
Okay,
is it the government that cannot be able to control this, that is asking everybody to obtain gun?
Dr.
And that will increase rivalry between the Hausa community who are in the communities and the Fulani headsmen who are in the forest.
Okay, Dr. Yahuza, I think you just painted a picture of what's happening actually in Katsina State for us. We feel the plight of those around that area. But of course, if you're just watching us, if you're just listening to us, we've been talking about the state of insecurity in the country and the views you've been hearing. Now, of course, the views of Dr. Yahuza Getsu, who is a security intelligence and investigation expert. But I'm going to ask you one last question before, as we begin to wrap up this conversation now. You've told us and painted pictures of how Katsina State is at the moment, and there's also a release here by the government of Katsina State that government closes 69 healthcare facilities over insecurity. Now, with all that you're saying, I begin to wonder how the people over there are actually surviving. And of course, the effect of all of this banditry and terrorist attack on the people of Katsina State.
I want to tell you that the highest proportion of the citizens of all parts of northern Nigeria, the highest proportion you may think of, 70 to 80% of us in northern Nigeria, we are taking responsibility for our medical care. We are paying for it. Government cannot even provide an ordinary paracetamol to more than 80% of the population of northern Nigeria, both the federal and the states. So those health facilities they are saying they have closed, there are so many other health facilities where the personnel cannot even afford to go. Not even because government have pronounced that it's shut down, but because the bandits are even bundling health workers. They are bundling them from their health facility to the forest so that they can take care for the kidnapped victim and also for their girlfriends and other kidnapped women as well as other injured among them.
Okay, sir.
So health personnel are even afraid of attending the health facilities, not only in Katsina State in particular. All the states of northern Nigeria, this is the situation.
Okay, so we've had the federal government come out to say last week that about 314 bandits came out and surrendered. And I know that we keep hearing these kinds of information in the media. We keep hearing a number of terrorists have come out to surrender. But we keep asking, just like you pointed out in part of your conversation, when these people come out to surrender, do they not deliver some form of intel to the security architecture of Nigeria and the security forces of the country? And when we talk about them coming out to surrender, we are looking at reintegrating them back into the society. What would you say, is this something that is healthy for us as a nation to do? And what kinds of transparency and accountability does the citizen of Nigeria need to hold, the security forces to, with these kinds of information and people who keep coming out to surrender? And are these things actually really happening?
I want to tell you the fact that government and security agencies have been deceiving Nigerians, and we have seen it clearly from the ambush, the banditry activity which keeps occurring every now and then. In fact, all those people, the bandits, are really surrendering their, handing over themselves to the security. Why the security was unable to utilize the opportunity to mobilize information on the hideout of the criminals, on the information on who are the informants, on the information on the armed traders, armed importers, armed movers, and armed dealers, illicit drugs traffickers who are providing support to the bandits, and so on and so forth. So if really there is sincerity from what the security agencies and the government is saying, that the bandits are dropping their arms and handing themselves over to the security operatives, we will have bring an end to this situation by now.
Okay.
But I want to tell you, there are a lot of unreported cases. More than 30% of the reported cases, there are a lot of more than 100% of the 30% unreported of it.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Yahuza Getso, security intelligence and investigation expert. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you also for giving us a very robust conversation on the state of insecurity bedabbling the country, Nigeria, today. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, viewers. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Same to you. Bye.
Okay, so that was really, yes, that was really a robust one. You know, I think that sometimes we really do not appreciate the things that are happening, you know, away from our local environment until we get to hear real time, you know, things that are happening in all the places in terms of what they're going through security wise now.
And when we even say other places, it's not just, you know, pressed down to like Katsina, as it were, where our security experts is speaking from, of which most of everything he's saying is his own opinion, and from an expert point of view, who understudies, you know, security systems in Nigeria. He explained himself very well, you know, of his clear understanding of the forest in the north, and, you know, has shared some of his opinions. Now, these things he's even talking about is not just about Katsina State. It's an overview of the security proliferation in Nigeria, because most of what is happening in the north there, where, you know, he's speaking from. And I mean, it's really been a really robust conversation, and we hope, like, I would, you know, in recent times, as we've said, it's time that Nigerians took responsibility of what happens in this nation, which starts from, you know, the things we are going to do come 2023 elections.
Definitely.
It's such a great and robust time we've had. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll bring you the concluding part of Rise and Shine. Please stay with us.